people. So we are back. Um, Currently Tuesday the 25th. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to get a deep work session in. So this is something I used to do a lot more frequently that I've really fallen off on. And it's a very popular term on the internet, and from the book Deep Work. But essentially, what you do is, or how I do it when I do a deep work session, is I write down the task that I want to accomplish, and you essentially just lock in, phone in another room, put your computer on do not disturb, and all you were doing is just focusing on that task for an extended period of time. And there's research out there that shows different times that it takes to get into a flow state without interruption. And these flow states that you get into are where progress is truly made. And so I think that's something that I've been lacking lately is just setting aside extended periods of time to just really lock in on what needs to get done, because lately it just feels like I'm kind of spending, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there on task, but not making substantial progress towards what I need to do because I'm not just locking in for 3, 4 hours at a time. So, yeah, we got some things that we got to work on tax related for our clients, and we need to get those done. Need to plan how some upcoming calls are going, film a video, um, and start working on the third video because we want to start stacking up content on for our YouTube videos so we can break up the shorts and not have the same clip, same outfit, same look and everything, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's a lot to be done, and I think that getting back into these deep work sessions as the busy season seems to kind of be wrapping up at least a little bit would be super beneficial for me because it allows me to just really knock things out and really make substantial progress. And, I think lately I would be lying if I said that I've been giving it my all. I've been being very social, which, once again is good. I'm not a proponent of monk mode where you just lock yourself in a closet and distance yourself from society. That's never been my philosophy because I think you got to find the way that you as an entrepreneur will balance it, because then once you are successful, you already know how you operate that way. Now there's seasons where more grind takes place, but I digress. So yeah, I'd be lying if I said that I've been, devoting as much time as I could and should to my business. And I think that's part of it is just being honest with yourself about that. So I'm always going to share that with y'all. But yeah, got a list of things I'm going to knock out. So about to get to work. It's currently 7:30 on the dot. Probably going to work till around 10:30. Put the phone in the other room and just lock in, people. So let's get to it. All right, people. So we're back. Just been pretty much the past few days. Pretty much just been work, day job, work. And, I think it's good to have periods like that, especially because, as I mentioned, I've kind of been lacking on just like having periods of intense focus and like really honing in on what I need to do. So we're getting a lot done. Hopefully, going to wrap up most of what I got to do by the end of the weekend. Um, that's my goal. I'm pretty much just going to lock myself in this room and just work. Yeah, because I mean, that's what I need to do. I mean, can't be a entrepreneur. Gotta take it seriously and actually put in the work to get to where I want to be. So, um, yeah, just gonna lock myself in the room this weekend. Pretty much just grind all weekend. At least that's the plan. We'll see what God brings into my life. You never know what'll pop up, but yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on. Tonight, gonna eat some dinner with some buddies, but outside of that, it's just work, man. It's just work. And, I think that that's just what you got to do. You got to put in the work, and you know, you're the one that creates your own reality. The things that you think, the things that you say, and the things that you do, that's what creates your reality. Nobody's going to do it for you. And a frame that I've kind of stumbled upon this year that's helped me with that is, rather than goal setting, you look at the byproducts that you want to produce throughout the year, and then you break those down into habits that will create those byproducts. So say I want to grow my socials, my goal shouldn't just be get 1,000 followers. It should be to grow my socials to have a large following. Okay, and then what are the habits that are going to do that? The habits are going to be, in my free time, spending time scripting, even if it's just 20 minutes for videos, filming each day, making a habit of doing those things. And through doing those, your goals or those byproducts that you want will automatically happen. So I think it's more, the frame is shifting from looking at the goals from a long view to looking at what are the habits that I need to form, right? Because at the end of the day, your habits are what create your life, right? Good and bad. So yeah, people, it is 7:45, so I'm gonna work for another 45 minutes or so before heading into the day job and working for them. And yeah, so just gonna keep getting after it, and I'll check back up with y'all later when my buddies get here. Maybe get some more film of us, cooking up. I think we're gonna make some stir fry. So be a good day, man. It'll be a good day. Let's crush it. Got some stir fry cooking up. My boy Chisler, Big Dave.
Roll Tide.
You know the vibes.
Absolutely dominating the Mormons right now.
I don't think you can say that on YouTube, but oh well.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we are. It's factual.
BYU's going down.
Let's go, baby. Cooking up for the fellas. Great night. All right, we are back Saturday afternoon with my boy Drake.
Cooking up parlays, putting in work.
He's cooking up parlays. I'm actually putting in work.
We got all the lines up right now.
Just put a chicken pot roast deal, or a chuck pot roast. I don't even know what they're called.
We're getting our protein in for sure today. So.
For sure. Yeah, so this morning we met up at a coffee shop, worked there for a little while, caught up and everything. And then after that, Drake thought he had to go run for a meeting, but got canceled. So then he came here.
Hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
really let me down.
It happens, man. Hey,
it's
rescheduled tomorrow though.
Exactly.
But yeah, so did that. He came over, cooked some lunch. Then we got a nice lift in, sauna session. Good conversation, all that. So yeah, been a very productive day. We just went to the grocery store, got some ice cream and onions.
Yeah, the perfect combo for Saturday night.
Yeah. So I forgot to get onions for the roast that we're cooking, but yeah, so we got that in the oven, and it's gonna be ready in like 3 hours. Alabama plays in the Elite Eight in about 4 hours.
We got Texas playing right now, so hopefully they cover.
Yeah. Well, Texas women.
They're playing actually in our backyard. We're like 10 minutes away from where they're at. So
sadly, we had to get work in rather than going to watch women's basketball, though.
Yeah, it's really a shame. Apparently, we don't support local women.
Yeah, well, but yeah, so we're about to get a nice little work session in. We each got some things that we got to work on. We're gonna maybe bounce some things off each other. See, future things that we could start working on together. See,
we're getting
we can start building for the future.
We're gonna get our event planning LLC created and start working on that.
We'll see, man. We'll see. Maybe a sushi and roast restaurant.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing a little combo, like
something, man.
Yeah,
something. We're gonna start something because
a Asian restaurant.
Yeah, he'll head that up. But anyways, got to start something together. Working with friends is the best. I mean, the entrepreneurship thing is awesome. It's a cool thing that he's been in for a while. I'm starting to get into. And it's fun to do it by yourself and all that, and grind by yourself. But also, it'd be cool, work on a good project with your buddies.
So. Yeah, it gets lonely by yourself, and not much accountability. So you gotta surround yourself with some competitive individuals.
Yeah, so he'd know better than me. He's he's got an awesome story. He's been in the game for a while, so
Yeah.
he teaches me something new, helps me get on the right path. So yeah, man.
He teaches me a lot of new stuff too. Actually,
Yeah.
he teaches me a lot about what type of stuff I need to put in my body. He's
Yeah.
elevated my brain power by at least 50% this
Hey,
year.
getting him right on health,
I got the
helping him out on taxes.
Yeah, exactly. He's telling me what to write off. He's actually was explaining to me how I could write off my Europe trip earlier. So
Well,
He's like,
I was
write off
explaining
all
how you might could, but anyways, yeah. So we are gonna get in, do some work, and yeah, I'll catch back up with y'all tomorrow.
All right, cue the time lapse.
All right, people, what is up? We're back. It is March 30th, making my nighttime tea. Know the routine by now. Yeah, it's been a great week, man. I feel like I've gotten a lot done. Probably not as much on the content side as I would like. I wanted to get a little bit more done with that, but you know, we always overestimate, or I guess underestimate, the time that it'll take to accomplish different things. So here we are. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this, I guess it's a sermon or speech by Billy Graham that I listened to. So I actually had a viewer named Terry Gist or Gist 4234. He commented on one of my videos a while back suggesting that I watch this Billy Graham sermon about a man who lives alone without a girlfriend. And it essentially talks about how in society now, loneliness is viewed as this sign of weakness, sign of fault in your life, that you're doing something wrong because you don't have somebody else by your side. And I think this is something that I've definitely felt because I know that there's societal pressure, family pressure, pressure from friends, internal pressure to find that person to be your partner, but also just to find people that go by your side. And I think that that's something that I have dealt with because, I'm taking a non-traditional path to my life and, also single. So don't have either one of those, but, obviously I have great friends, great people in my life that I'm very thankful for. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I've definitely felt moments of solitude in my life where it was like everybody else is over here doing this thing and I'm over here in my own lane doing my own thing. And this video really spoke to me because it's definitely something that applies to my life, being somewhat different in the path I'm taking. But one thing that it talks about is loneliness isn't an absence. It's an opportunity to grow deeper in faith and self-awareness. It is not a moment of punishment, but an invitation to something greater. And that's, I took some notes while I watched it. I was out on my porch just, listening to it, and I took some notes about it. And that was one of the things that really stuck out. And, I went to church this morning and it talked about how the preacher talked about in his sermon about how doubt will creep in, and doubt's not something that should cast you away from your faith, but it's something that should be an opportunity to grow deeper in your faith. And so I felt like those kind of coincided together, and just how being alone in solitude is not a bad thing as much as society makes us think it is. It's an opportunity for us to grow deeper in our faith with God, deeper in our connection to ourself, and learn about ourself more and more. And it went on to talk about how a man who has found peace within does not run from his thoughts. He stands still and faces himself and learns to love his own company. And I think that this is something that could apply to a lot of people, just because we get so caught up in this stimulating world, just chasing all this fake dopamine, doom scrolling on TikTok, or instant gratification on video games and, all these other vices in our lives. And we don't ever just have time where we just sit with our thoughts and just allow ourselves to ask the tough questions of like, who am I? What do I truly want in life? And I think that those are things that we need to look at, and we need to look at these lonely periods or these moments of solitude in our lives as is not a sign of weakness or that something's wrong with us or just that, but more just that it's a gift from God to develop ourselves further. And for all of my guys out there that are, single, feel like they're struggling to find a partner, whatever, I think that you should listen to these two quotes. And I think that you should really take them to heart. So it says, society often misconstrues solitude as a failure, assuming that a man without a partner is incomplete. But a man who knows his worth understands that solitude is not a curse, it is a gift, a space where he can grow, sharpen his mind, and become exactly who he was meant to be. And then the second one is, when the world sees him, it may not understand his journey, may question why he is not desperate for love, but he does not need their understanding. He only needs his own. And I think that as, I'm trying to document my journey, but also inspire others to, take that leap of faith and take their journey into their own hands. I think that, a lot of the times you're going to get questions from people, whether it's friends, people you barely know, or even your family, and they're going to question you. Why are you doing this? Why aren't you just staying at your cushy job, living the easy lifestyle where you can make a living and have a car, have the house, have the family and the 2 kids and, live the easy life? But it's not your job to tell them why. It's your job to understand internally why and why you want to chase this life. So I'm on a bit of a rant right now, but I think that this is just a message that all people, guys and girls, should go listen to and just soak in what he's saying, because it's such a powerful message that applies to so many people out there, because we're all trying to be something great in life. And, sometimes it creates moments of solitude where, you're not always going to have a whole team together with you, but, that's part of the journey. So last thing I'll leave you with, and it's just a quote that once again is from this that I thought was powerful, is, for the strongest men in history, the ones who left legacies that lasted long after they were gone, were those unafraid to walk alone. They knew that solitude is not emptiness, but power, that walking alone is not weakness, but strength. And so he walks, not with loneliness, but with purpose, not with desperation, but with confidence, not with emptiness, but with the fullness of knowing exactly who he is. So there you go, people. Can't suggest listening to that enough. It's a very powerful message. I think everybody should go listen to it. And, don't let the world define who you are. Know yourself internally. Use your moments of solitude to grow stronger with God, stronger in your faith, and understand yourself more, not worrying about how the world defines you. So that's it for me this week, people. I'm going to go get back to work with my tea. Going to enjoy that, and then going to set myself up to crush the week. So I'll catch y'all in the next video. So all love, HP out.